Hello YouTube, Al here, and this week I want to do an update on the projects that I've been working on. Sorry the video's a bit late. I've had pretty bad cold, to be honest, over the past few days. Not totally over it, pretty much over it. So let's get on to it. So you'll remember the Sunburst Body and the Black Body and the rosewood necks that I got recently, well, quite a while ago actually, and I was going to get them fitted together because they didn't all fit together properly, and put electrics in them and all that rubbish, get them set up. These are not those guitars. So due to COVID, and it takes a lot of work to get a neck to fit a body. So the necks and bodies I got necks that fit the bodies pretty well, but it would still take work to fill and re-drill, and to get them to sit right at the right angle, left and right and up and down. And I never got around to it because it cost quite a lot to get someone to do that properly, and I'd need it done properly. I wouldn't want to half-arse it because it would just cause more issues in the long run. So they're on the back burner, or they were on the back burner. I was in my local charity shop, and I saw this, which is a really nice Sunburst Stag Strat. Really quite a nice finish on this. Not too dark. It's proper wood. I could tell from the way it's finished. If there's a lot of black on the outside, as you'll see with some really cheap Sunburst guitars, you'll see a lot of black on the outside, and that'll indicate that it's made out of plywood. I could tell from the way it was finished that it wouldn't be plywood, and it's not. So I got this, let's start with this first. I got this cheap because the pickguard that came on it, it came like this when I got it, with the Stag pickguard. Sorry, the light's just screwing everything up. There was a grounding problem with this guitar, and it made a hell of a lot of noise. So I couldn't. I got a little bit of money off. It was an adequate price. They'd overpriced it a little bit in the charity shop, but I didn't want to argue because it's for charity. Like, it's fine. So anyway, this is the guard that came off my brown Aersi Strat that I sold the body and neck for. I just put that in. I resoldered a few of the joints in the pick guard, and it made no difference. I got signal coming through, but in all positions I got a load of ground hum. So I resoldered the two stock factory joints at the switch jack, and it's fine. I sorted it. So I also put a Wilkinson tremolo on it because why the hell not? That's what I do. Nice big block, lovely thing. And some Wilco tuners, because the stock tuners that came on this were crap. But the neck's a reasonable profile. It's quite a big neck, but it's not like a big U-boat shaped neck like the Aersi was, like the old Ratcaster Strat neck was. It's pretty decent. The frets are not perfect on this. So it needs a little bit of work to get the frets sorted out. I tried to file the nuts for my 10 to 52s, and I slightly overfiled the D slot, which really annoys me. It's my own silly fault. You live, you learn. It doesn't matter. It needs fretwork doing anyway, so I'll get the nuts sorted. Oh, and I put a roller string tree on it. So I'm not doing a sound test of this yet because it's not really up in playing condition. But it's quite nice. It's got some little dings in the body. It is not perfect. Some dings there. It's not perfect, but this Sunburst Body is a lot nicer than the one I was going to use, which you could basically have a look through that cavity where it all just chipped and broken away, and it was like razor thin wood. It just wasn't worth using, to be honest. So I'm going to flog that on, and this was about 60 quid or something for the guitar all in. A little bit, probably worth about 40 to 50 quid really, if it had a grounding issue, but it was a charity shop, it was fine. I didn't want to argue with them. It went to a good cause, so whatever. So that's number one. The second one is I got this body and neck advertised as a project that went awry. The bloke's name is Tom. You can still see it in the headstock. Got this for 35 quid. Now, obviously, it's been relicked in the not the nicest way, but I mean, it feels smooth to the hand, so I don't care. All this looks like crap, but it feels smooth to the hand, so I don't care. It's fine, whatever. It was advertised as a Squire bullet body and some sort of neck. Now, I assumed that the neck and body weren't going to fit together, and I just thought I might be able to use the neck on one of my other projects. I ordered this off a bloke on Facebook just before I saw the stag, a few days before. So I was amazed when the body and neck turned up, and they fit together really nice. It's a really, really nice neck joint. There's no gaps on the side, really nice tight fit. The screws lined up correctly, because when you drill them, you'll drill them at a slight different angle, so it's really hard to get a neck and body to fit together that weren't really made to, and you'll get two Squires that won't both fit together. So anyway, I think this neck is Squire as well. It feels a bit Squirey. It reminds me of the other Squire necks I've got. So this is the other project. They definitely fit together. I thought it might be a bit of a ham-fisted thing to try and do, but they fit together fine. Someone's tried to shield it, obviously, shield the cavity. I see nothing wrong with it. It's not a bullet body. It can't physically be a Squire bullet body, because this is a Wilkinson trem. And with bullet bodies, they're a little bit thinner than Affinity and all those Strats. So the block fits in the back. It doesn't jut out, and if it's a bullet, it should jut out. So I think this is an Affinity or a Standard or something like that. Either way, it's quite a nice Squire neck. It's got some tuners on it. I don't know, they feel surprisingly, they feel okay, I suppose. I mean, they're probably fine, they'll do the job. A few dings and that in the neck, I'm sure we can get them sorted, but again, it made more sense to get a neck and body that fit together, and there's a lot less work to do with it than get a neck and body and kind of bodge it to try and get them to fit together. So that's number two. A few days before I went into the stag shop, I was sent a link by George, who's a fan of the channel. Hello George, all right mate? To an Encore, an Indian-made Encore, also known as the Sun Mustangs, also known as the Squire 2s. So, here it is. Really, really cool looking thing. It's a pickguardless Strat. I love the look of this. It's so clean, and the guy who had it before me has put these stickers on, which I'm going to leave because I think they look really cool. It kind of reminds me of the Hendrix, what do you call it? Monterey guitar, the red one that was spray painted white with all the flowers and shit on it. So I'm pretty happy with that. 50mm string spacing. These pickups aren't original because the bridge pickup, I can see the spacing doesn't quite want to match up with the bridge, so this is probably a 52. These definitely don't look like Encore pickups. They look a bit thinner because they tend to look quite fat in their covers, the Encore ones. But I mean, it sounds mega. It sounds so good. The frets are a bit flat on the top, especially up the dusty end, so they need a bit of work. The tone control seemingly does nothing. I can't figure out where that comes into it. If I'm going to get that wired so it works, I want to get this wired so it only works on the bridge pickup, because that means I can basically roll it down and thicken it up and kind of do a humbucker-ish sort of thing if I want it. But I don't get the stuff about humbuckers, HSS guitars that I don't like, which is like a drop in output, so they'll all sort of still match in output. It's just, I'll get full neck fluty stuff, and then I can go to a thick bridge pickup if I want it. The bloke's refinished the headstock and called it Gabriel. Don't ask me why. These are not the original tuners. I had a set of Vansons that look the same as the ones that came on here, so these are Vansons, and they're really quite nice tuners. Neck pocket's really nice. The body is made of solid wood. You'll notice none of these guitars have back plates because I take them off because it gets in the way when I'm trying to restring it, and I don't see the point in leaving the back plate on. It just makes my life more difficult. The pots are 500k. I don't know why. They just do that. So it's a really, really weird, funky guitar. It's quite different, especially for a Strat, especially to have an SSS Strat that has no pickguard. I think is really sleek. Looks really cool. So I won this for about 60 quid. But when it arrived, there was a big scratch there that, can you see that? That wasn't in the adverts, and there's a big ding there where he's had it on wall hangers. So he knocked 20 quid off, so it was about 40 odd quid. Oh, the nuts, can you see that? The nut is a bit chipped that side, so it probably will need a new nut at some point, but it's fine. All the electrics work fine, apart from the tone what does nothing. It's a really, really nice guitar. It's a nice weight, nice neck. The neck feels the same as the other Encores I've got, and it just sounds fabulous plugged in. So yeah, it sounds really nice. There you go. Now I'm going to show you an amp, so give me a sec. So, this is the other thing I got from the charity shop when I got the Stag. I also got a 3/4 Stag guitar because I was really coming down with a cold and my brain was not working, to be honest with you. And for some reason, it did not click in my head that one guitar looked smaller than the other. I have no idea why, but it didn't click, so that's really annoying. I'm setting the 3/4 on. I'm not going to bother doing a video on that because it's not very interesting. It's just a bog standard Strat, but a little bit smaller. So yeah, so I got this amp at the same time. It's a Park by Marshall. These were under the Park brand. They were also under the Marshall brand, but this is the Park by Marshall brand. Park, I believe, is the name of the son of Jim Marshall, I think, or is his wife's maiden name, or something like that, some sort of connection there. So, this is a 1x12 amp. If it was a 110, I would have walked away. But this is a 1x12 amplifier. It's open back. It's got 2 channels. You can use a foot switch. It's the, what is it, it's G30? Yeah, it's a G30 CD. So it's 2 channels, reverb, EQ, and a contour knob. These are the precursors to the MGs. I really like the MGs. My little first practice amp ever was an MG, and I really like the MG heads because I've got one of them. This is a really, really, really nice amp. It sounds great. It's 80 watts, solid state watts. So it's roughly as loud as a 40-watt valve amp. It's all solid state. There's no modelling, no digital, just analog solid state. I believe it's early 2000s, this amp. But it sounds really good. There's a line out on there. There's a foot switch on there. I need to get a foot switch. I want to see if I can get a foot switch for this. My one gripe with this amplifier is that there's no extension cab lead. Because with it being 80 watts, that's more than enough power. It should be able to run a reasonable 2x12, and I've got a reasonable 2x12, so I want to see if I could plug it into something else. I know it's going to line out, but I wouldn't want to send it through PA. I just want to see if you're playing the Dog and Duck, you could use this, but if you're playing Wembley, you can plug this into something else, you know, bigger. So it's a really nice amplifier. I'm going to do a video on this at some point as well. I've been doing little playing around with this on my new cheapy Strats. And it's a really good amplifier. I can't knock them. I had a look online to try and find out what it is, and people are saying these are crap. But they're not crap. It sounds really good. It sounds like a Marshall. It sounds like a Marshall. Like the Marshall Mode 4. Everyone says they're crap. I like it. It's a good amp. The NG, people shit on them. They're good amps. They sound good. There's no problem with them. There's no problem with them whatsoever. So, I got this for 40 quid. And they're normally about 40 to 50 quid off Fleabay. So, it's about right. It's about right. It passed their electronics test, so I knew it wasn't going to kill me. So this is what I tested the guitars on in this shop, and it's a really good amp. I'm pretty happy with this. The cable is moulded, the power cable. The cable's moulded rather than being a kettle lead, which I prefer to have a kettle lead, just so if it breaks at any point you can replace it. But I don't see it. It's not going to be a problem. It's just slight preference. So, yeah, the black body I was going to use is up for sale. The neck I was going to use for that is up for sale. That's the play-on Strat neck. The Sunburst Body over there is up for sale, and the square neck I was going to use on that is up for sale. Selling a load of shit, really, because it just makes a lot more sense to when you've got bodies and necks that fit together properly already, and the neck joint is solid. I did have to shim this, by the way, but that's unavoidable anyway when you fit a body to a neck on a cheap Strat. Leo Fender had to shim a lot of early Fenders, so when you take into account that you'll have to shim it anyway and get the angle right anyway, it makes a lot more sense just to get something that was meant to go with the other part. So yeah, is this my return to modding cheap guitars or buying cheap guitars in order to mod them? Not really, because I bought this not working, and the parts I've used are just parts I had lying about anyway. I haven't spent any money on this. The parts I've put into this are the parts that I was going to put into the body anyway, just to finish off that project and hopefully have a nice Strat that, you know, with a nice neck that I like. But it didn't make financial sense to do it, and with lockdown and all that, it's going to be a long time before I'll be able to get to a tech in order to get him to do it. And then with the economy being the way it is and the way it's probably going to go, the way it's looking less and less likely that I'd be able to do something like that and get it done. So the obvious answer to me is cut my losses with the project, sell the bits, and just stick with this, because the odds that the parts I use and put together, which will be in this ballpark anyway, will be better than this. I mean, I don't know. It's wood. It's organic. Either a guitar wants to work or it doesn't. So I think it makes more sense for me to try something that was already together and see how it feels and plays. Rather than take a punt and pay a load of money to get someone to fit a body to a neck and hope it turns out better than a 60 quid Stag Strat from a charity shop. So, and I put the same bloody parts on it, so this is pretty much how it's going to turn out anyway. I mean, the headstock was going to look like a Squire one because it was a Squire one, but apart from that, this is pretty bang on, except this is in better nick. So, there you go. I just wanted to give you an update on my project. Again, no playing this week. I've just been a bit out of it, to be honest, with a really bad cold. Excuse me. I'm still getting over it. So, the Warman body, which is painted the Mary Kay sort of finish, the trans white, with the Warmoth neck that has to be fitted to it. That's still sort of in the pipeline. I could always change my mind. I could still just go, oh, someone's selling a Fender body, and I'll just buy that and sell the other one and transplant all the Fender parts. You know, it's a bloody Strat, it's guitar Lego, isn't it? So, but the plan at the moment is still to get that one done at some point. I've still got the Danish oil brown body I won off Fleabay, and the Johnson Strat neck that fits that really nicely. So those I'm keeping. Those I'm going to try and finish off. But the black body in the necks and the Sunburst body in the neck, they're going to go, because it just doesn't make financial sense to have all these projects on the go that, you know, I have to keep putting it off further and further down the line. I want to play the bastard things. You know, they're guitars. They're meant to be played. They don't even exist as guitars yet. So that was just a quick update to let you know how my projects are getting on, how I'm doing with them. So, thanks for watching. I'll have more videos incoming. I've got quite a few reviews incoming. I've got the Joya Uzi, I've got the Bonamassa fuzz face, I've got the blue Silicon Hendrix fuzz face, I've got the red Band of Gypsies Hendrix fuzz face. I've got the BBE Sonic Stomp. I've been on a bit of a fuzz face kick, I'm going to love with you. So I've got quite a few fuzz faces. So, it's Josh Scott's fault. So, anyway, I've got more reviews of pedals and stuff going on. I might get back on the pedal review train. Just see how I'm feeling. So, there you go. Thanks for watching. My name is Al. So thanks for watching. My name's Al. Like, subscribe, all that nonsense to keep up with my projects and my fix-its and modifications and all that nonsense. A few pedal reviews. I buy them all myself, so I'm in hock to no one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Until then, bye bye.